So you and I had a conversation, I think early September, about how the yield curve would materialise, and you looked for a modest re-steepening. We had a very mild re-steepening. We've gone back into that flattening trend. As you point out, we're sub 20 basis points now on US 2s, 10s. How would you be positioning on this yield curve? Where would you want to sit on this yield curve? What maturity, Mohamed, would make sense to you right now?
Front end, the front end, because I'm worried about Europe, and Europe tends to drag longer rates down. So I would be at the front end.
Do you think there's pretty limited upside at the front end on the yield side of things, Mohamed, because of the Federal Reserve? Is that what you're thinking about right now?
Yeah, I do, and that's exactly right. And I think for once you get paid. So I like the positioning there, especially if you are recalibrating your risk exposure. It's a good place to rest for a while, and we gain optionality in terms of where we go from here.
And Mohamed, that's what I think is so difficult about next year as well, because quite clearly the equity position, there are a lot of people that think there is really limited upside to the equity market next year. And if you can get paid 2–3% at the front end of the Treasury market, what's the incentive to be in stocks? What is the incentive to really put capital to work and really put yourself exposed to risk next year and beyond?
I think there's two. One is that the U.S. economy is still in a good place. Jonathan, it's not often that the three main engines of growth all kick into higher gear at the same time. Consumption based on a solid labor market, business investment, and government spending. So the U.S. economy is in a good place. That's the first one. Second, we've had some technical damage done in a few sectors. And with time, that's going to offer a good opportunity for long-term investors that can underwrite volatility. So that's the two main arguments, but it requires you to be quite selective, and it requires you to add a tactical layer to your strategic positioning.